So what's up?
It's going down, man. I was waiting on the secondary graphic.
That's all
Thought
right.
it's,
We get ready to do the intro real quick, and then we get into it.
oh, okay. I
that's
didn't
how you,
know.
that's how you got to play it off when you don't get the streamlined effect that you wanted. You just got to talk for a second and then get into it.
Oh, okay. I was still backstage.
On episode 3, we're gonna get it right though. We're gonna have I'm gonna do some practice between now and then, so that on episode 3 we have that just straight into it effect.
And it just, yeah, for sure.
This is Common Conscience. My dude Dre Day
What's going
4536 on the FTS podcast and J Raider TV. You know what it is, Comic Con. We back, J Raider, Dre Day. What's up, man?
I'm big chillin', man. How you feel?
Big chillin'. You know how we do. You know, it's probably better for us to just not have a set time because we got so much going on that we just can kind of get to it whenever we get to it, bro.
Oh man, we gonna get better, bro. We gonna get better. We gonna have a set time. It's gonna be. We might just need to push it back. Right? It'll be 8:30, 15.
Yeah, let's just plan on 9 p.m. so that when we come on early, it's a pleasant surprise.
Oh God.
So it's been a couple weeks since I've seen you. Glad to see you still thriving, maintaining, doing your thing. You know what I mean?
I'm all right, man.
Big things going on in the world. Really, it's same old song as far as COVID and new developments and all that. We're gonna touch on that a little bit, but really we're gonna try to steer away from that and touch on a couple other things going on in the world. In case y'all didn't tune in last week, but you kind of know the landscape, the climate of how we were in season 1. We kind of were political heavy. I want to start from that to be lighthearted things. So that's what we're gonna do. Talk about pop culture. Talk about maybe a little bit of politics here and there. But really, we're just here to entertain y'all and give y'all our insights on what's going down. So today we got a couple of decently hard-hitting subjects, and we're gonna talk about something really hilarious that I think is hilarious. I don't know if you've read up on it at all, but I think it's mad funny. So that's the Drake and Kanye beef. We'll get to that in a little bit of a teaser there for you. Drake and Kanye are mad hilarious with their album releases. First, man, there's a big labor shortage going on, big hiring shortage going on in the country right now. A lot of reasons for it probably, but I'll open the floor up to you and tell me what you know about it. Kind of just let me know what your thoughts are on what's going on. It's a weird time for our country right now as far as employment goes.
Well, niggas ain't working. No, I mean, so it's actually funny, right? I've been seeing shit about this, whatever, the labor shortage or whatever, people not coming back to work, all this or whatever. I think it's kind of like a obvious reason for it was the unemployment or whatever, but I don't think it was like for the reasons that everybody else kind of thought it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas got their unemployment check for a little while. Like, they set the unemployment at what they thought was gonna be like, you're saying, like a living wage. So like, we need to make sure that we paying people enough to where like they don't go out there and infect the fuck out of each other because they have to work. And then people got that bread for a little while to not do shit. And then they had to go back to their job to do what they was doing before for way less than that. And it's just like, that start making motherfuckers really think, like, how bad is it? Like, it's just there's so many pay rates that you could offer me before it's even worth my time to wake up and come to work. That I get it. Like, it's just that I found something that pays me above that threshold. But like, real talk, like, I wouldn't do anything for $10 an hour.
Right. Yeah. It's hard to get out of bed for that much.
Nigga, that's $400 a week before taxes. So what, you can walk away with like $340 a week?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you gonna do with that? What can you buy besides crack with that? Like,
right. and that's a lot of what we're seeing. I mean, the article I pulled up said, the average pay raises coming out of, big COVID shutdowns into reopenings was like 11 cents across the board for anybody that's quote unquote non-farm. I don't even really know what that means, but essentially all across the board coming back into the workforce after being laid off or having your establishment closed for a time or whatever the case was, people were trying to offer raises for people to come back to work, and they were sitting at like 11 cents higher than what they had. And for most people, that's just not enough. It was
never enough.
It never was. And to your point, people are realizing that the job that I work every day, I'm busting my tail for 40, 50, 60, sometimes 80 hours a week. And yeah, overtime is there, but then even overtime, what is for a lot of people in our region where the minimum wage is $7.25, my overtime hours after working 40 hours a week is still only $12, $13.
Yeah, that ain't nothing.
Yeah,
that's not no money.
Right.
That's not no money. So what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah, so economists were thinking, and I guess data projectors were thinking that coming out of COVID, if as employers are seeing that it's difficult to find workers and difficult to hire people, their philosophy was, let's start scaling back the unemployment benefits, because paying people less unemployment will force them back into work. And they quickly realized that that's not the case. That's not enough for people.
They tried to tell them motherfuckers that. They tried to see, and that's the thing is that people be so quick to believe the narrative that motherfuckers just want to sit at home and draw a check. But it's like, bro, think about being in COVID. It's a lot of motherfuckers who was sitting at home drawing a check. That shit is not fun.
Right.
That shit is boring.
Right.
That shit is boring. You're not drawing.
Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, you're not on vacation in Jamaica and shit off an unemployment check. You can just still pay your bills and shit, but you got to be home all day with your fucking family. Nah.
Right. So is it
for me?
Yeah. Is it that people are thinking that if they hold out longer, that they'll get a substantial enough pay increase to come back? Is that what they're thinking?
I think people are just I'm not gonna work for that again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's when you've been in that position, think about when you making that little amount of money, the small amount of things that you can afford, you can barely afford. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you live in lavish off of this amount of money.
Right.
You barely even making it on the bullshit that you have off this money. You might as well just be unemployed. You might as well just not have a job.
Yeah, but what's the answer when unemployment just stops for people? I mean, isn't there a threshold where they just stop paying you, or are people just okay with either not? If you don't give me enough, I just won't work at all.
I mean, I think a lot of it is coming to that to a degree. Motherfuckers is trying to find some kind of some other way. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it, I think you see as far as entrepreneurship in one lane, it's for scams, and another because these scamming niggas is on it. Bro, what do you want? Somebody hit me up the other day about applying for some shit, and they was like, yeah, you just got to hit my homie up, and then he gonna do so much. And I was like, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. But it's motherfuckers is there's easier ways to make a little bit of money.
Yeah. I mean, the cynic in me, I agree. And yeah, I mean, and that's been true, especially for, felons and people like that who can't get jobs, are kind of forced into doing things that are faster money, easier to find work. So I think, not coincidentally, what we'll see that coincides with that is, crime is inevitably going to rise. You're talking about scammers. We're talking about trappers. Their involvement is going to rise because they got to find a way to provide. And if nobody's going to hire them and offer them work for livable wages, then they're going to find an easier way. That's 101.
No, motherfuckers just going to pay more.
Yeah. So it seems to be a little bit of a power struggle. The out of work employees or the unemployed are holding out for higher pay or better benefits or whatever the case is, better working conditions for a lot of them. And employers are like, we're not going to do that. So, and the government is like, well, we'll just stop your unemployment benefits. The deadline for that is September 6th across the country. People are just going to stop if you've been on it for a certain number of months or however long you've been on it. There's a threshold that you hit where they're just going to stop your unemployment altogether to kind of force you into the workforce. So what you're seeing is kind of people on both ends of the rope just pulling, just kind of struggling.
But the thing is that like they've already got states that did that. So like Oklahoma stopped their federal unemployment increase. Texas stopped theirs. Like there's states that have already stopped it,
right?
And they're still facing the same labor shortages. But like to me, what you're gonna find is like just like I had a table the other day. You know what I'm saying? Like little businessmen or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They having some little business meeting or whatever. What they talking to each other about is this labor shortage. And in the conversation, they talking about how at the end of the day, it's going to take some accountability from the employers because right now what it used to be was it was like they had all the power essentially. He was like, but like now it's like it's just really not true. Like he's like there are way more jobs than there are people who want to work them right now. So like you really need to be more competitive and have more incentive for people to work with you. And like a real world example that you can see I'll give you is like you look at Walmart and you look at Target. Walmart is like, fuck them. We ain't paying no more. We ain't doing shit for them. Like, whatever. Target is like, man, you know what? If you work part-time for us, we'll pay for you to go to college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, so when you walk into a Target, now I tell people this all the time, you get what you fucking pay for. When you walk into a Target, you don't be walking past people who walking in that motherfucker like they don't want to be there.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that Target is just the greatest company on earth and everybody there is just jumping with joy. But like
I love working at Target, man.
Yeah,
it's everything
I
I
love
ever
Target.
dreamed.
Yeah. Wear that Target shirt outside of Target and shit so niggas know they in the club. Like, you see me, I got yes,
but the culture is different there. The culture that trickles down from the top is we'll take care of you if you work for us.
Yes.
And that just ain't going down nowhere else.
Instead of you need a job and we got one.
So take what we can pay or take what we will pay and like it. One stat in this article that I pulled up about this that kind of staggered me is the number of people voluntarily leaving their jobs rose by 164,000 to 942,000 people. Almost a million people voluntarily leaving their jobs. So why is that? Why are people just fed up with being treated terribly? I mean, I find it hard to believe that all these employers across the country are just treating their people so terribly that people would rather just not work. I think there's got to be.
You never had a job before?
Man, yeah, but
so you never had.
Okay,
so let me put it to you like this, right? I have had maybe 2 jobs out of all the jobs I had where I felt like it was important for the people who like the corporate people, like the heads of my job. It was important for them that I felt like they gave a fuck about me beyond just like whether I showed up or not.
Right.
I'm not necessarily saying that they just did overwhelmingly. I'm not saying that they just did way more for me or whatever, but like if you just look at like the policies that a job implements, the way that they kind of do things, like it was clear that it was important to them that the people who work here have some kind of pride in working here and feel like we give a fuck about them while they're here.
Right.
Everywhere else I've ever worked, it's been clear to me from the day I walked in pretty much that like, we expect this amount from you. What we're going to give you in return is that paycheck, and that's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is as transactional as it can possibly be. And I think it's easy to walk away from a transaction when you start to realize that, and even this, think about when you first get to a job, what your job is versus your last day, what your job ended up being. It's like they always add little things onto your job because it's like you do a good job and now you have a little extra time and they don't want you standing around. So it's like, oh, well, we'll do this. You know what I'm saying? I'll also do this. So you start thinking about it, bro. You watching your people around you get this unemployment check. And I'm not saying that unemployment is going to like answer the question of why did all these people quit or all that all on its own. but all this stuff is going on, and then you watching people not work and make more money than you make.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like not like for me, I went back to work because as fucked up as my job is, I make more money on the clock than I did on unemployment at the crib.
Right.
They didn't pay me enough to make it worth my time, but I have a pretty good job. You don't hear me complaining about the money in my job.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not rich.
Yeah.
I'm not rich.
Are there a million people? I mean, I guess it's possible. I was going to say, are there
350 million people here?
Are there a million people who are making more unemployment than they were at their job? I mean, I guess it's probably feasible. Yeah, but
definitely more unemployment than they was making at their job. The increase in unemployment when they first started it was an extra 600 a week. We just said how much 40 hours of work at $10 an hour is.
Yeah.
You already just made $200 more to not be at work.
Not doing nothing. Yeah.
Could not do shit.
So really, we should view this as more of kind of the people's strike against low wages and mistreating employers or mistreating employees than anything else. It's not necessarily that people want to act entitled and want to sit at home and collect a check. They really they're just making an economic decision for themselves. Like, why work harder for less?
I didn't realize. I guess like you have to think about it from the perspective of like what is it? Is it a frog in boiling water won't jump out? Or some shit like that because they don't realize it because the water raises, the temperature raises gradually. It's like the same thing. It's like you working in this situation for so long, you've been going to this job for this money. Like you've been getting your check this way. And then something happens that forces you to go home and just collect more money than that. And the thing about it is, bro, is that they didn't set $600 at like, if we get people this, they'll be able to ball out of control during the pandemic. They were like, if we get people this, they'll be able to maintain their basic needs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they just overshot how many people weren't making enough to meet their basic needs already.
Right. So really they told on themselves.
And now you want me to go back and work the same 40-hour weeks to not make enough money, to make less than I was just like, to have to figure shit out. I didn't already have to think about, I'd already changed all my bills around the money that I've been making this whole time or whatever. And now you want me to come back and figure out how am I even going to do this? Like, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it sets off kind of a bad economic cycle though, because, and I know that's not our problem. These employers really they just got to figure it out. Plus they got enough, let's be real. These companies, especially big corporate chains, they got enough money to pay their people more money, bro. But what I was going to say is it kind of sets off a cycle. I mean, if you don't have people make enough money to pump their earnings into their local economies, then these companies don't make enough money to pay higher wages. And then you just you start off a downward spiral from there. So, I mean, what is the right answer? Do we just, because there are small businesses that don't have money bags to just like the McDonald's and the Walmarts of the world that have money to pay higher wages. There are small business local communities.
Like it could be 5, it could be 3, it could be 20. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, like you asking me to pay 20 people twice as much money. Like that's a big ask. You know what I'm saying? Like I hear that, right? But you want me to pretend like I don't know more than I know when you say that to me, because you want me to think that what you pay everybody, that your labor is like your only overhead expense. So you want me to think that if you have to pay your people twice as much, that the stuff is supposed to cost twice as much now. But that's not true. Like that's not how math works. That's not how numbers work. You know what I'm saying? Like conceivably speaking, if you have to pay, if you have to say like, okay, I have 20 employees, so I'm paying all this money. Like if I got to pay them $15 an hour, I need to take 5 of those employees down. That's cool because you can also ask a lot more of me when you're paying me twice as much.
Right. True.
You know what I'm saying? Like the quality, it's the target thing. What you get back for what you put in, like what I would implore these small business owners, tell me what quality of employment are you getting for that hourly rate?
Think about Walmart and McDonald's. Walmart and McDonald's come to mind first, and they'll be my only points really because they're the most glaring examples. Go through McDonald's drive-thru and what kind of service are you getting? But also, it doesn't matter to them because they know that their bottom line is going to be met anyway. People going to McDonald's, bro. People going to Walmart. They don't have to provide high levels of customer service, and they don't have to pay for people who provide that because you're going to use them anyway. So it's like we talked about, it's a cultural thing. Like Target and Chick-fil-A have a culture of exceptional customer service. I don't know how much Chick-fil-A pays, but I imagine it's more than McDonald's. You know, and the quality employee, like you said, the quality employee that they get is high quality.
And that's my thing. Like, it'll be those same people who don't want to pay more who'll be like, you can't find good employment anywhere. You can't find good work anywhere.
Right.
Like, no.
Okay, well, what are you paying your employees?
You ain't gonna find shit.
Not only will you not find good work, you won't get anybody to apply. No. Because what we're seeing, I mean, the numbers don't lie. What we're seeing is people just aren't going to work anymore, and they're leaving their jobs voluntarily in order to not have to worry about being overworked and underpaid. So, but the point I made a second ago also has another side to the sword. Yeah, there's a cycle that's put in motion if if people don't go back to work to earn money, to pump money into the economy, then everything kind of stays where it's at or gets worse. The other side of the sword is if these businesses and these companies would just invest a little more in their employees and provide a higher quality product, and then if everybody does that all at the same time, people go back to work, they're doing better jobs, quality of service and quality of product gets better. It's economics. Like, you get more customers, you get more money, you get more revenue, everybody wins. So
get what you pay for.
These employees just there is a labor shortage, and I think go ahead. I think the misconception is that the labor shortage is because people don't want to work. And I think the thing that people have to understand is these companies need to invest in higher quality employees and be willing to pay them more. If you not double everybody's pay, but if you take your state's minimum wage and add $5 to it, you can't tell me that people won't start applying for work there. Of course they would.
I mean, even beyond that, bro, like I was thinking even like this, like I think that, like, I don't think people realize that these large corporations, like the narrative that you see on TV is largely driven by like businesses who have the money to drive that narrative. So like the narrative that like a higher minimum wage would kill small business is kind of bullshit. When you think about the volume of people that like the large companies in a town like Lawton employs versus the number that the small businesses in Lawton employ. Those people who would be getting those raises would just be taking that money to all those small businesses. Like, you might have to raise the pay on your people, but the amount of more money that's going to be driven into your community that was previously going to leave it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the money that you pay as a small business owner into your people, they're more likely to spend that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're either going to spend it in the community or they're going to spend it at Walmart, right? Well, if Walmart has to pay their people more, at least when their people spend their money, they have more to put into the community. Like, you're making Walmart get more back into you instead of taking all of it out. Because like all Walmart does is take money out of law.
Yep.
Like, we don't pay anyone who works here enough to live. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're not spending money locally because they ain't got it.
And we're taking up all this business that could be spent with you. Like, as a small business owner, I'm at least going to demand that you pay the people who work with you enough to shop with me.
Right. Yeah. Man, it's wild. I think you hit a couple things on the head. First, I was thinking earlier before you mentioned it that this narrative of people just don't want to work is being driven by big business, and people are feeding into that. Like,
they're eating that shit up.
And granted, there are always going to be people who that's true for, but these are record numbers we're seeing, and I think what we're seeing is really just a nationwide holdout, essentially a strike, because people want to be A, paid more, and B, treated fairly. The other thing is, the argument is always, well, if everybody's minimum wage goes up, then prices are just going to get higher, and that's just not true. Like, payroll is not half of any business's revenue as far as an expense. So the fact that you double minimum wage, or the notion that if you double minimum wage means all of their prices are going to double, is, you just don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like, these companies have the money to pay their employees more, and the chain reaction, the chain of events is going to be ultimately more revenue for that business anyway. They're providing a higher quality product because they have higher quality employees. So invest the money in better workers and everything will work out in the end.
Oh, man.
725 is not enough money, bro. I don't care where you live.
That ain't no money. And they be like, those jobs are for kids. Those jobs are for kids. Like, man, dog, kids ain't supposed to have to work, bro. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. But like, I'm not one of those people who I worked from the time I was like 12 until now. Like, I'm no stranger to work. Did I gain some character from it? Sure, whatever. But I also probably could have got a 4-year degree in 2 years if I wouldn't have been working and somebody would have just showed me how to like focus my energy elsewhere. Like,
right. But I mean, living anywhere with any number of bills to pay. I mean, $7.25 as a minimum wage is good enough for a student who's in high school trying to learn how to work, who don't have nothing to pay for and lives with his mom. Literally, if you have any bills to pay, that's not high enough wage, bro.
And that's still exploiting the niggas because they're young. Like,
right.
I just don't get that argument. Like, so the same job, like these motherfuckers be acting like these jobs is easy, bro. Like,
working in fast food is hard, bro.
Hard as fuck. Hard as fuck. And if the service don't mean shit to you, then don't go. Right. I did not see one fucking McDonald's wrapper in your car if you over here talking about they don't deserve to be paying more than $7 to flip cheeseburgers. Then you go flip your own fucking burger, nigga.
Right. And the notion that those people aren't capable of doing anything else besides flipping burgers is stupid. That's only said by people who've never flipped burgers before.
Literally. But
anyway, so we got the answer. America, if you're listening, just pay your people more and everything will be all right.
Because we clearly know every fucking thing, bro.
Yeah, we know. We economists here on Common Conscious, bro. We got degrees and everything, master's degrees in economics.
Oh God.
Man, this Drake and Kanye beef is so funny to me, bro. I don't really understand why, but essentially, these cats been going at it for a couple years, right? Mm-hmm. Well, here we are toward the starting like early summer into the end of June and pretty much all of July, and now here at the beginning of August, we've been expecting albums from each of these guys. And to no one's surprise, probably, but to everyone's kind of misunderstanding, both album release dates keep getting either put on hush or pushed back. And the insinuation is that they're each trying to wait what the other one's going to do so that they can drop at the same time.
So that's the reason why we haven't got this shit yet?
Right. They're reportedly both done. Like, Kanye has had 2 public listening parties for his new album, Donda, which is his mom's name, apparently. But one of them sold out the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. It looked real crazy. So his album been done, and Drake's album, apparently, according to LeBron, I don't know why LeBron's speaking on it, but according to LeBron, his album's done too. And both of their publicist teams have said that nobody really knows what's going on because one side thinks the other is going to drop on the same day, so they're just waiting to see what the other one does. Meanwhile, consumers, listeners, like, we just want to hear them, bro. We don't care. If you drop them both on the same day, we're going to listen to both of them.
Bro, I did not know that's why we was waiting on these motherfucking albums, bro. That is so fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want the other one to take their thunder, essentially.
But that's not how any of this works anymore.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're in the age of streaming. Like, we can literally listen to one and then listen to the other, or save them both and put them on shuffle and listen to both of them at the same time.
Bro, what?
These are the 2 funniest guys to ever have beef, too. Like, if you would ask me who was getting ready to have a beef, I would have never said Drake and Kanye. That's something I would like.
That's a dry ass beef. Like, did Drake fuck Kim? Because Kanye be beefing with everybody who fucks Kim, but Kim be fucking a lot of people.
That's facts. I don't know. They're supposed to be breaking up, or that was last I heard about that.
They getting divorced. No, they getting divorced. I heard that when he had the listening party the first time that the shit wasn't even done. And he had all these motherfuckers pay all this money to come to a listening party to listen to a half-done album.
Yeah.
So
Which
I mean,
still would have been pretty dope, but
that would have been pretty dope. No, no, nigga. Don't invite me to listen to no half damn shit.
I would have showed up and watched Kanye perform half his album. I don't even like Kanye, so I probably wouldn't have gone.
I ain't fuck with Kanye in a minute, but I was like, this is why.
Yeah,
This is why.
because of this
Because I
type of
was
stuff.
like,
Yeah,
because I was like, you know what? If Jay-Z took my nigga back,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Then I could fuck with him a little. I'm gonna listen. So the first time when they said it was coming out, I was like, bet. I got home late from work and shit. I was like,
Mhm.
it was like 11:30, but I'm like, usually, you know what I'm saying? We Central Time, usually 11:30, the shit is out. Like,
Right.
because usually motherfuckers drop Eastern Time. So I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
looking. I'm like, oh, it's not out. I'm like, okay. Shit, it must be on some, East, you know
Central
what I'm saying?
Time
Central Time.
or
You know what I'm
Pacific
saying?
Time.
I check again. Nothing. I'm up late that night. Like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I check again. Nothing. So now I'm like, nigga,
Yeah, he was
this
waiting to
how
see
you
if
do.
he was waiting to see if Drake dropped his at midnight.
This is how you do. Like you got me over here looking goofy, all
Yeah,
typing in Kanye West, listening to late registration and shit, listening to old Kanye.
getting
Because
brought
I
back up
was
to
listening.
speed.
Well, first of all, how the fuck did you get me from being a nigga who was ready to punch your ass in the dick to a whole ass fan again over here listening to the old
Yeah,
music?
dude's a magician, bro.
Fuck that
You can say,
nigga. Kanye,
you can say
Kanye
what
a
you want
traitor
about
ass
dude,
nigga.
but he's a marketing genius, bro.
Bro, fuck him. He got me. Cause
So
I'm gonna be honest with you,
he
like
got you.
niggas be saying that they don't understand the shit with Kanye, they be like, I don't understand why people hate Kanye so much. That I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get personal for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye's dropping those first albums, you know what I'm saying? Graduation, late registration, shit like that. I'm like 12, 13, 14. Like I'm like coming into my own, you know what I'm saying, right? I'm starting to listen to music that's pay attention to the words and this shit, and I'm like, this nigga, this is the smartest nigga ever. Like, nigga, Jesus, what? I'm like, bro, everything. I'm like, bro, this nigga is a genius. And he like on all this like low key on this black shit. I'm like, I'm black. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with him. I'm like, okay. All this shit going on, you on your so you hop on stage, you like George Bush don't care about black people. I'm like, oh shit.
He
Oh
got him.
shit.
You remember
Oh
Michael
shit.
Myers? You remember Michael Myers' face when he said that? Mike Myers? He was like,
Yes, bro. Bro, he was like, I didn't say that.
yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, he like George Bush don't care about black people. He get up there, he interrupted Taylor Swift, like, yeah, I just want
Mm,
you to know,
mm,
you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you your mic back, but
yeah. Dude
I'm like,
has dude has a knack for staying relevant, bro. And staying
and then
not
my
just
nigga,
relevant, but staying at the top of people's minds.
but then my nigga bust out with the MAGA hat.
Yeah. I'm not totally convinced that wasn't just a whole troll move, bro.
But here's my thing though, as a nigga who believes that shit means something, and like the way you like sway the needle on that thing one way or another, making shit cool because it's a monetary gain, that's
Yeah.
some snake ass shit that I really cannot fuck with. Like
Yeah.
I really need to believe that he was in a bad place mentally and he did believe that shit. It's
Yeah.
harder for me to deal with I did it for money. Like,
Yeah.
please tell me you didn't do it for money, my nigga. Like
Right. Either way, the impact is the same.
the impact is the same, and then like the slavery was it. Like,
Yeah.
my nigga got up there and really said slavery was a fucking choice. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, what?
Get a couple of dollars and lose your mind, bro.
Lose your whole fucking mind.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm torn between whether they're actually like each artist is trying to dodge the other's release date, or is each artist purposely waiting for the other to drop so that he can drop at the same time? Which would be a petty move. I can see either one of them doing that though.
who the
Okay,
fuck
all right,
knows, bro?
all right, push that button. Let's get it. Who you rocking with though? Who gonna have a better album?
It depends on what you consider the better album.
Who's overall better career wise?
Shit. Somebody was having this conversation the other day. Like, so to me, the answer at this moment is Drake because Drake never really had a fall off.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kanye kind of fell off.
It also
Kanye can come
depends on
back.
what you. It also depends on how many elements you consider, because Drake ain't producing his own records. So if we're just talking about rapping, I think it's closer than you think. I'll go with Drake anyway. I think Drake's mass appeal is bigger. Cross genre appeal is definitely bigger with Drake. I don't think we've seen an artist more transcendent in our generation as far as appealing to everybody and just being an overall entertainer. However, hip hop skill wise, music skill wise, Kanye is the best that we've ever seen, in my opinion.
You think Kanye is the best we've ever seen?
In the hip hop genre, as far as being an overall musician and producer, and I think he's the best we've ever seen.
That's fair, I guess. I don't know if that's my take, but I'm not gonna fight with that right now.
Yeah. As far as a rapper though, I don't think it's close.
Yeah, I just think the thing about Drake is just that you don't have to love Drake, but Drake consistently makes music that niggas want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you can really run. You can run the, but so the Kanye songs that hit for me like hit different though. Like I don't have no Drake songs that like there's not a single Drake song that you could play that like touches me. You know what I'm saying? Like
jump out your seat and listen and
there's
jam out
Kanye songs. There's Kanye songs where like I be feeling like I'm in that moment. Like I be feeling like there's Kanye songs that I could play where it's like it take me to a different place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's Drake songs that I really, really, really like. There's Drake songs that I love. There's Drake songs that like when you play them, like it might remind me of a time that I had. Like Drake songs remind me of like what I was doing the first time I heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye songs put me in the song.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't even about me no more. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's about this moment that's occurring in this song. Like I'm literally here. So this is different.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. I think that Kanye is definitely a Hall of Famer. I mean, I don't think that's debatable. As far as slappers, I mean, I think Drake got all the slappers. But I've just never really been a Kanye fan. I know that I had College Dropout. I thought that was his best joint. I did like 808s and Heartbreak, but I'm just not a Kanye stan. I don't ever get in the car and just like let me put on that new Kanye. I did listen to Jesus is King though. I thought that album was low key fire. To be honest,
never heard it.
It's pretty dope. I mean, you deal with the, you know, do you even believe him? Is he doing this for clout? That's always the question with Kanye. Is he just doing this for clout? But musically, I mean, it's a pretty decent album.
Yeah, I didn't listen to that shit at all.
Drake for the win. Drake for the win, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, you say Drake for the win. Lifetime achievement award type shit. Like I feel like unless Donda is the best thing we ever heard, then it's gonna go to Drake too. Honestly, I'm gonna have to even with my previous statement, like it goes to Drake.
Buddy won Artist of the Decade, bro. I don't even know anybody who's ever won that before.
It's other artists who won Artist of the Decade, but it was a different decade.
I
don't know who
nobody else won it this past decade. I know that much.
They didn't. It was only him.
I know it was only one this time. I don't know how many won it the decade before that, but it was just one, and it wasn't Kanye.
That shit funny. Yeah, because he fell the fuck off.
All right, man. This dude, you got the scoop on. I hope I spelled his name right. Governor Cuomo. Is that how you say it? You got the scoop on him. What happened?
So basically, a couple months ago, someone was like, this nigga, a creepy ass nigga who be sexually harassing the girls who work with. The culture, the toxic work culture, where if you say something about this nigga groping you or being all creepy or old with you, that he'll fire you or demote you or have motherfuckers looking at you fucked up and shit. So we ain't fucking with it. That's basically like the in shorthand. That's what happened initially. And
Not
he
the
was
first
like,
politician to do that.
And he was like, nah, nah, me, I would never do no shit like that. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like, and then some more women was like, really, that's crazy because what she said sounded a lot like, well, you know how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, they just trying to cancel me.
Right.
He's like, cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? You can't even grab a little titty at the job without a motherfucker trying to say that you supposed to get fired.
What kind of world are we living in now where you can't grab
What
no
kind of
titties at the
world are we
job?
living in? What kind of world are we living in when I'm the governor of New York? If I walk in and I want to pat my secretary on the ass and tell her good morning, that's my right.
Because I'm governor
That,
of New
that
York.
that's the vibes, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But not that it should be relevant, but like Democratic governor of New York. Like I feel like motherfuckers think the only Republicans are weird, creepy sexual harassment type motherfuckers. But that's not true at all,
No.
actually. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all
It's
old white men. No, play. No, just,
it's most male politicians. So it's just
oh God, it seems to be that way. So
yeah.
okay, listen, he's
It's
like
all white men.
so,
Oh
so the shit comes out. Yeah, just the old ones. You're good. You're a young man.
yeah.
So but so he's like, fuck them bitches too. I ain't do that shit. I'm so sure I did. People are like already at this point. This is months ago. They're like, you should resign. You should like not be governor anymore because the people don't have faith in you. We believe these women. We think that you whatever, whatever. And he's like, well, the way the rules work, you can't really make me resign off some shit some bitches saying. So
Right.
no, I didn't do that shit. I'm not going nowhere. I'm so sure that I'm gonna have my district attorney do an independent investigation on me, and then when the results come back, y'all are gonna see that these bitches was lying the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So the story kind of dies down. You know what I'm saying? He kind of lays low. The story dies down. A couple months go by. This is maybe a week or so ago. District attorney comes up there. And she's like, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is has been found to have created a hostile workplace where sexual harassment ran rampant.
Oh my
We
gosh.
have all of these women who say that he sexually harassed them on different occasions, like blah 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 blah. Basically, they're like he did this shit in a half. It was like it was girls who came forward who had never said nothing. They was like, well, since we do an investigation, we can't lie. We might as well be like, yeah, he does do that little weird thing where he come up behind you in the elevator, all
Mm.
kissing on your neck and shit. And they're like, whoa. And you're like, hey, don't do that. And it's like so.
Is
So
this just people that worked for him or just like random people he would see?
basically, most of the people he works for, that works for him, like it was like a security guard who was on his detail, like an officer who was on his security detail, security secretaries and shit like that.
Yeah.
So then he comes out with a video to justify the fact that like he's not a creepy old nigga. This is just his vibe. He's like, no, I kiss people on the head all the time. I wish that I could have, because you could push it up. I wish that I could have shown you to find the video so you could put it up. It's like this video of him like kissing world leaders on the cheek and like, you know what I'm saying? Like kissing people on the hair and like hugging people and like
Yeah.
touching people's face, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. He's like, I'm Italian. This is how Italians get down.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's fine because this is what I do, man. Get used to it.
It's fine because I'm cool with it. So like the reason why I thought it was interesting was because like in truth, I feel like most people are not gonna get their honest opinion on this. Most people are either not gonna know shit about it or they're gonna say what people like want them to say. But the question I'm saying is like, if you look at the things, none of these women are saying like he raped me or tried to rape me or nothing like that. I think like the most that they really said he tried like that he did is like kiss a woman who didn't want to be kissed. Now I will say this. Most of the women are like, he did something to me once. I was like, I don't like that. He kept doing it. But it was like the shit that he was showing on the pictures. It was like touching their face and like it was like that touchy old man, inappropriate too. Like, what do you think what do you think about that, bro? Like,
Man. So I know, is he from Italy? Or is he just Italian American?
he Italian American. He from New York, but he Italian as fuck.
However, so I'm gonna have a preface, but then I'm gonna get into my real answer.
All right.
My preface is there are cultural differences to at least initially allow some gray area with this type of thing. That's my only preface. My real answer is, regardless of what you and your family are used to doing, or you and your culture are used to doing, after somebody tells you, "No, I'm not with that," you're supposed to stop. And after enough people tell you to stop, you're supposed to kind of get the hint, like, bro, that's not how we rocking out here in the USA.
This ain't everybody's jam, bro.
Right. It's not everybody's jam. And that's really the only answer is like, well, not the only one. So when people tell you to stop, you're supposed to stop. You're supposed to get the hint after a certain point. But also, when you're in such a position of power like this, I feel like you have to be more cognizant of how you behave. Like, if this is how you and your extended family and your close friends want to greet each other, that's cool. I greet my brother and my mom and my dad and my girl and my kids differently than I would greet some person I just met or some person I work with. That's like just universal understanding.
That's common fucking sense. Like,
right. You're not just supposed to go around touching people's face just because you work with them, bro. These are
people underestimate the whole "I'm your boss" thing too.
Yeah.
Like,
because that's a complex he's got, apparently.
Well, not even that. Not even on that level, bro. Like, I'm saying on the level of, like, it's things that I could do to you as your equal, or things that I can say to you as your peer, that, like, as your boss,
right,
this shit really changes up a little bit. Because, like, you feel what I'm saying now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that light went on.
Yeah, I mean, that's true too. I mean, it's a fraternization thing. Like, in the military, like, I'm not supposed to be going out after a work day and having drinks with the E3s when I'm a lieutenant. Like, that's just kind of what it is. Like, those are lines that you don't cross. And I mean, you're the governor of New York, bro. It's clearly not your first day at the rodeo, bro. Like, you've been in politics, you know how you're supposed to behave. I think ultimately, it's just another case of entitlement. Like, I get to a certain level in life and I can do whatever I want to do.
I think it's funny that people only think of entitlement as something that poor people can have.
Yeah, nah.
Like, they're like, hey, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, y'all are entitled. You think that somebody's supposed to give you something? Like, no. That entitlement that comes from money and power is different, bro. Like, we have motherfuckers think that shit is cool. That is not cool, bro.
Well, that's why there's such an epidemic over the past couple decades of people in power finding themselves in these scandals. And I don't, just to caveat, like, I don't believe everybody in every scandal is telling the truth. I think there is a degree of people just want to get clout off of some people, but there's an epidemic of people in power getting caught in these scandals, and it is entitlement. Like, they get to a certain level of stature and they feel like they're untouchable.
And that shit is always gonna be true. That's the thing. Like, that's just like the Epstein shit, bro. Like, that nigga had a whole island where he was taking young girls and other rich niggas, and they was just like, oh yeah, this is where we take the young girls and fuck them. Like, what?
Right. Like, and but you know why they think they can get away with it? Because they have been for so long.
Yeah, because they do get away with it.
And that's why when somebody finally comes forward in a situation, that's why so many dozens of people follow them, because everyone's silent for so long because they're powerless against this person, or they feel so. So they're really just waiting on somebody else to open the door. It's not that everybody's piggybacking off of everyone else to try to gain some clout off a situation. It's possible that that's true in some cases, but what's happening is in Epstein and Larry Nassar's case, and the countless other people we're talking about, they're getting away with this because they're so powerful, and the victims don't feel like they have any power to compete with their power. So they just don't say nothing. They feel like they can't. So all it takes is one person.
The reality is they don't have no power to compete with that either.
Right. It takes one person to muster up some courage and come forward and say, this is happening and it's not right. And then all of a sudden everybody else feels like they can do the same. Straight up. But I mean, it's all rooted in entitlement, bro. Like, this dude is no different. Yeah, there's no evidence and no murmurings of him, quote unquote, assaulting anyone or anything like that. But this is an abuse of power. That's all it is.
Literally.
So today, was it today or yesterday? He decided to go ahead and step down.
It was today. I think it was today.
Yeah, he said, given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is I step aside and let government get back to governing. So really, he kind of, even his resignation statement, he kind of put it off in, I really ain't do nothing, but this is a distraction and we can't be having distractions. So I'm going to go ahead and leave.
My nigga said, I guess it's y'all making me. Because he was vehemently not, he's saying he would not resign for so long, bro. And that to me was the crazy thing about it. Like, bro, you really not going
Yeah.
or whatever. But
well, he's gone.
Do we got time for a story before we get out of here, bro?
Yeah, hit us with a story, bro.
Okay, we got time. All right, so
hey, before you move on, we did
ahead.
get an update, and we could talk about this next week if you want. There might be some more information come out. But you've seen Britney Spears' dad bowed out at a conservatorship today.
I just seen that before we got on here, bro. Free Britney.
Big win for Britney.
You know what I'm saying? Oh,
that whole thing crazy. We should talk about that next week.
I almost got a Britney Spears t-shirt the other day, bro. I'm gonna have to go ahead and cop that bit now.
Yeah.
No, nigga, like, okay, story time. The reason why I went to a story time is because it's like, it's a COVID story time. I know everybody been dealing with COVID or whatever. So like, for all full transparency, whatever. Like, I've been vaccinated for a cool last minute. I'm not. I lied to get my vaccination. They was like, you a teacher? I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm a teacher and I work with old people. Give me my shit. I jumped the line. I'm not even gonna cap.
Right.
I'm not even gonna cap. Where some of y'all motherfuckers don't want that shit at all. I jumped the line for my shit. I was like, I work around a lot of people. I got a newborn baby. I was like, fuck that. I'm not trying to get this shit.
Right.
So, as we see, you know what I'm saying? Big Delta that came through and niggas is getting the breakthrough cases. So niggas are still getting it even when they vaccinated. I got a manager fully vaccinated. She got the shit. Like, so I know you can still get it if you vaccinated. My baby is in Oklahoma right now, though. My baby's in Oklahoma. And this is important to know. My baby's in Oklahoma, so I'm like, okay, I got this little window where, like, even though I'm vaccinated, if something happens, I don't have to worry about bringing it back to the baby. So my partner has his birthday in Austin for the weekend. He's like, we going to Austin. I'm like, fuck it, let's go. This is when I had to, like, really think in my mind, like, how do I feel about this? Because I've been real on some follow the science. Like, if they say wear the mask, wear the mask. I wore the mask. I got the vaccine. I did all this other shit or whatever. I've been seeing the numbers go up, all this other shit. But I had to make a decision this weekend, bro. And I said, you know what? I got my vaccine. I looked it up. Out of all the people who fully vaccinated, 1,700 people have died who are fully vaccinated, who had COVID. They said about 40% of those people didn't die from COVID, but they had COVID. So you look at like a couple hundred people, it's been like 1 billion people vaccinated or some crazy shit. Like, it's like ridiculously negligent amount of population died. So I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking going, bro. I'm out here. Nigga, I'm not wearing this mask. If I got to get COVID, I got to get COVID this weekend. Austin, I'm getting it in. Nigga, I was in 6th Street getting it in. I was at the Domain in the bars getting it in. Nigga, last night we went to the strip club, bro. We went to club dancing, nigga. That's when you know you don't give a fuck, no, bro. Nigga. When you're like, I don't give a shit, nigga.
I mean, what's the point of being vaccinated if you can't move freely? That's the whole point.
That's how I feel about it. Because if you ask me, I don't know if it's you. Look, I feel like whenever white people have a different level of confidentiality. And black people, it's like asking y'all who you voted for. You're saying, I would ask you on live if you got vaccinated or not. But
we talk about it after.
But anyway, well, I'm gonna shoot this gun off anyway, and if it hits you, it hits you.
I bet.
What they said was, niggas like me didn't have to wear our masks no more when we went out. They didn't say nothing about y'all niggas who didn't want to go get that poke. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas were scared that you was gonna grow a tail or an extra leg or something like that. They put that damn mask back on.
Yeah, I mean that's the trade-off. Like, you have to be willing to accept it.
Yeah, because a nigga like me, I'm not gonna cap at you, bro. The first time around when I was watching those videos on CNN, when it was like, and they fucked up because they always choose a hillbilly ass nigga. And he be
Mhm.
over there being like, they told me I was supposed to get the shot. I'll be like, I just want to tell that said all my family that they need to make sure that they get it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like when he first came out, he was first doing it, I was like, oh damn, I feel bad for Billy Bob. I don't
Mhm.
feel bad for Billy Bob no more. This
No.
shot free as fuck, and you can get this
Right.
bitch anywhere, nigga. If you don't
Yeah.
believe it, you don't want it. Wear that motherfucking mask and take the
Yeah.
precautions you're supposed to take. But y'all motherfuckers not gonna get the shot, not gonna believe it's real, and walk around this bitch with no mask on. And you get it, then you might die. Like, I mean, well, shit, you walking in the street. Get out
Yeah.
the street.
And newsflash, these variants is stronger, bruh. And that's
They
the point. They don't mutate and get weaker. Stupid.
nah, they don't remember chickenpox, bro. A lot of them
Or
not
the
old
flu.
enough. A lot of them not old enough to remember the chickenpox.
Right.
Motherfuckers don't remember that chickenpox was so contagious that one of your cousins can get chickenpox, and your mama will take you over there so that you can get it out the way.
Right.
They'll intentionally expose you to chickenpox just so that they can just get it over with because you was
Right.
gonna get it anyway. Because all
Right.
kids used to get chickenpox.
Yep.
That's how contagious they said the Delta variant is.
Yep.
They say it's as contagious as the chickenpox. If you
And,
next to a nigga who got it,
mhm.
you got it.
And it don't care if you're vaccinated.
Not really. They say you got a less percent chance because I got tested after I came back from Austin. Your boy came back negative. So that
Yeah.
motherfucker don't do nothing because I ain't gonna tell y'all everything I was doing at the strip club, but I didn't go in that motherfucker, bro. And I enjoyed myself. I was in the strip club, but I was in that bitch talking about.
Yeah. You weren't there just eating chicken wings and enjoying the show.
Look,
Is what you mean.
yeah. Hell no.
I'm not here. I'm not here to DJ. I'm not here to DJ
money.
Vlad you or nothing. But
Yeah, some niggas stole the money. Yeah, some niggas stole the money. Sometimes you can just put the money in your hand. You can just like slap it.
Yeah.
A little slide.
I go in there checking my own pockets, making sure it didn't fall out nowhere because I ain't spending no money in there, bro.
Oh shit, no. The strip club like the casino for me. The strip like the casino, I just choose my amount before I walk in there,
Right.
motherfucker. I don't go in there guessing what I'm gonna spend.
Yeah, go in there with what you're willing to lose. That's it. Man, my neighbor.
$5.
I had a couple of people at my job that had been vaccinated, and there you go. Couple people at my job that had been vaccinated and ended up positive with the Delta variant. They said that it didn't really they don't feel bad or nothing, like they don't feel terrible, but they did test positive for it. So it doesn't make you immune, but it does, obviously, it makes it easier to handle if you do get positive. But I mean, the trade-off is either go get the shot or wear the mask. And it's really that simple. And if you're one of those people hollering about civil liberties and freedoms and come on, bro, like this is a mask, bro. It's a mask.
Have you seen these motherfucking these PTA or student board meetings?
Mm-mm.
You haven't? Oh, bruh. I'm going to send them to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to send them to you, bro. They show, bruh, the shit these people are saying, bro. Go get your people. And why y'all not bathing, bro? Hey, I meant to ask you this before I got off. I know we've been on about an hour. You said, I meant to ask you this. You're saying, I know that you don't speak for all white people or nothing like that. But you seen what Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, Jake Gyllenhaal that jumped on the bandwagon. You ain't seen this? They saying they don't bathe. They saying they don't bathe. They say that they only give their kids baths.
They don't take baths. I did see something about that, and I seen
Gyllenhaal was like basically on some of the same shit. It's been white celebrities jumping off the bandwagon like as if they feel liberated by Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Like,
right?
Thank you for letting me know. I thought I was the only one who wasn't bathing.
Ice-T's wife apparently said the same thing. Like she bathes like every 3 days.
What do you have to say for y'all? What do you have to say?
I usually go about every 5 days.
This nigga Chapter.
I take a bath. I take a bath the same day I get a haircut. That's about it.
Bro, not haircut day. He said he just rinsed the hair off. Bro, I'm not fucking with y'all. I'm not fucking with you because you know your brother might see this and you might be like, no, I take showers every day, and then Jeff gonna be the play you on Facebook talking about Jason a motherfucking lie.
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with people, bro.
Bro.
I can't sit here and promise that every day of my life I'm taking a shower, but I don't systemically go 3 days on purpose.
All right, I can at least take that. I just listen. Around here, I don't know if we trying to keep from getting darker or what it is. But you ask your black friends, we bathe and we taking showers every day. Like you don't have to ask. But you're like, listen, let me tell you, don't ask your black friends that you take a shower every day. Ask your black friends if they take their shower when they wake up or before they go to bed. Because that's the better question. Is one of like, how you spend your whole day walking around just living in life, people breathing all on you and shit, and you just gonna go put that up on your sheets and shit like that. The next bath you take, if you skip a shower, the next shower you take is voided when you get in the bed with the dirt from the day you did a shower.
Right. So your answer is you shower before bed.
Usually before bed. Sometime in the morning. It just kind of depends. Sometimes I might take a shower both. When I'm going to the gym, I take a shower when I leave the gym. Right. And that'd be like this like weird 8 o'clock shower type shit. But then but every day. Yeah. Every day. There's times I take a shower and get dressed just to do this podcast. Just to do STS, I gotta record. I'll be like, fuck, I gotta take a shower, get dressed and sound clean. Just saying, give everything right. Can't be looking dusty, crusty, and musty and shit.
I don't really know what it is, man. I like morning showers. I take showers in the morning. However, if I did just come home from the gym, I mean, there's certain things that you gotta take a shower right after. When I come inside from cutting the grass, I take a shower immediately.
You got
I don't care what time. I don't care what time of day it is.
Put clothes on top of yourself. Your shit gonna be great.
Right.
Like,
so I mean, so there were some days where I take 2 showers. I take one in the morning, and then if I do something that requires a shower immediately, then I shower again. But
well, you should have a seminar for the white community because I don't think that they'll listen to me. Because the comfort that I told this,
the comfort with which they've all come forward together is alarming.
That's what it was for me. It was how they rallied together around not bathing. Like, we don't bathe. Like, nigga, what?
We don't bathe. No more bathe.
Bro, like they had been liberated from this false life that they had to live to try and appease, I guess, us. They were like, did you know the blacks will make fun of you? Like,
we can't let them know we do this.
Nigga, listen. Look, one last thing, and then we can be done. I told this on FTS, but I literally had a friend. I had this when I was growing up. On my grandparents' street, they didn't really have no kids on their street, and this little white boy moved in down the street from us. And he had this big ass tree in his yard. So like we meet outside with some kids shit. We playing in the tree. Like I'm saying, like we like living. I'm like 6, 7 years old. It's fun. Like I'm like, hell yeah, this little nigga is cool. So he's like, you want to stay tonight? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm down to stay tonight. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Stay tonight at the Love Honey house or whatever. So I'm like, so it's getting kind of late. I'm like, so what's up? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? When we take showers, you say, when I go take a shower. My man said, it's not Sunday.
No.
I'm like, listen. I'm like, it's like a weekend. It's like Friday or Saturday. I'm like, oh, you just gonna like take a shower before church or whatever? Like y'all go to church on Sunday? He's like, no, we just take showers on Sundays.
This is how old? How old were you?
I was like 6 or 7. I was like a kid.
This is his family doctrine, though. Like this is what we do on Sunday.
This is what we do. We shower, we bathe on Sundays.
I bet they don't flush number ones either. That sounds like that kind of stuff.
I don't know what else they do, Jason. I don't know what else they do.
Because you stopped hanging out with him right after that.
I don't even know his name. I don't even know his name. I don't know if I left that night. I don't know if I made it that night or not. I don't remember, but I know that was the last time me and that motherfucker ever Sundays, nigga. Like before you watch football, you're like, oh, you know what? The game about to come on. We all about to be on the second. Like, how dirty is everything in your house, bro? Y'all all around here with itchy assholes, bro. I know everybody in your booty itch. You ain't bathed in 6 days come Saturday. And you try to tell me y'all niggas ain't itchy. Fuck out of here.
I hate to.
Fuck it.
I was gonna say I hate to bring this painful memory up for you, but I ain't even brought this up. You brought this up.
Bro, I brought it up. But listen, that's what that shit. I had to tell that on here too, bro. That I felt like that was a story that was deserved on both platforms, bro.
That's funny, man. If we gonna, that's the clip we're gonna put out to market this episode right there. That's the clip.
Oh, oh God. Got to.
Anything for the people before we sign off?
Oh man, make sure you following FTS on everything. Fuck this shit podcast, you know what I'm saying? Every other Monday, you know what I'm saying? This Monday we got one coming up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna be hyped about this shit. Follow all the social media platforms at This Shit Podcast on Facebook, at Fuck This Shit Pod on Twitter and on Instagram. Also, make sure you ready for the motherfucking giveaway. I've been telling niggas about this shit. When you go to the podcast, there's a link down at the bottom. We call this the free-ish giveaway. You go to the podcast, there's a link down at the bottom. You can donate to be on some monthly listenership type shit. You can either use 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99. It does not matter which one you pick. The first five people who sign up for that shit will get a nice little merchandise package.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I'll make sure I send that shit to you. The only thing you got to give me back in return is you got to do a little unboxing when you get it, because I'm going to give you a fat box. I'm talking about I'm going to give you like $140 worth of merchandise. Like I'm going to give 5 people $140 worth of merchandise. All you got to do is be one of the first 5 people to sign up for the monthly listenership. 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99. I'm going to give you content worth money, so give me money for the content, and I'll bless you with the giveaway.
Top FTS Podcast, Dre Day. Go do that. Common Conscience. This is J Rated TV. Follow us everywhere. We'll be back next week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.